al-Medina. And then after accepting al-Islam, if his wife gave a baby, especially a baby boy, if the rain came down and his crops came up, he made money. If something good happened to him, anything good, he would say, this Islam is okay. I'm okay with Islam. And I'm okay with Muhammad. And I'm okay with the masjid. And I'm okay with the Muslims. Because things were nice, like the weather outside, like the fair weather friend. That friend who's only with you when he's down with you, who's only supporting you when everything is going well. But when you have an issue and you need money, he's not there for you. When you need help, he's not there for you. You need to move, he's not there for you. Only when the weather is well does he represent, does he show up. The ayat went to say, and from the people of those people who worship Allah, and when a fitna hits him, and qalaba ala wajhi. When there's a problem, he'll say, the religion is a problem. Muhammad is a problem. The masjid is a problem. The community is a problem. He's a fair weather Muslim. When everything is okay, he's okay. He comes to the masjid, and I know when I speak from experience, being an imam in the masjid, he wants sadaqah, he wants zakat. As long as you give him the money, he's okay. But once you say to him, look man, you're always coming for zakat after Ramadan, and the money is your money for the fuqara and the muhtajeen, no doubt. But why don't you clean up around the masjid? Why don't you try to get a job? You've been doing this for 5 years. Once you tell him, we're not giving you any money, there's no money, he gets upset. He'll go to another masjid, he'll talk bad about the admin, because he's one of those fair weather Muslims. You don't want to be like those people. You don't want to be like that. Another ayah, as if that ayah and that incident isn't enough. But repetition in the Quran, one of the benefits of things being mentioned multiple times, is for ta'keed. It's to show you the importance of it. Another issue. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ فَإِذَا أُوذِيَ فِي اللَّهِ جَعَلَ فِتْنَةَ النَّاسِ كَعَذَابِ اللَّهِ وَلَئِنْ جَاءَ نَصْرٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ لَيَقُولُنَّ إِنَّا كُنَّا مَعَكُمْ. Another ayah from the people, those people who claim al-Islam, or those people with their tongues, they say, like the Munafiqeen, I believe in Allah. Wallahi, I believe in Islam. I'm a Muslim. I believe in Allah. That's what they say. But whenever they are bothered, if something happens to them that's negative, they get problems from the government, something happens. They make that fitna as if it's the adab of Allah, and they get upset, they get mad. But if something good would have happened to the community, they would come and they would say, hey, we were with you, Ya Muhammad. So they would go out, and it's time to make jihad. So when we make jihad, that I don't apologize for, the jihad of al-Islam, not the fitna and fasad of al-Qaeda and the mutashaddideen. We want to avoid all extremes. We are against al-Qaeda and those people like that, but we're also against the apologetic Muslims. But anytime an ayat like this comes, they want to run away and make al-firar from the jihad. It's our deen. It's an ibadah from the ibadat of al-Islam. The shahid, if his brother gets killed in the war, his father gets killed, if he loses a limb, he makes that like it's Allah. Allah did this to me. Allah did this to me. But if good happened to the Muslims, and they won, like in the battle of Badr, in the battle of Bani Mustaliq, he will say, I was with you. I was with you, Muhammad, give me some of the money. He's a fair weather Muslim. When things are easy, he's down with the program. When things are not easy, he or she got problems. And it's manifested in many ways for people in this masjid, from the Khutbah that stand on this minbar, from the Muslims, especially today. 2023, where the Prophet described the time that we're living in, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the sinawat, fadda'at. You cannot believe everything you see and everything you hear. Not from the Muslims or from the non-Muslims, because they're those fair weather Muslims. When Salatul Fajr is at 6 o'clock, 5:45 in the morning, he'll get up for that. When Ramadan, you fast from Fajr to Maghrib, but the days are not very long. When the weather's nice, he'll make wudu, but when it starts to get cold, he won't come to Fajr. When Fajr is 3:30, he doesn't come and he doesn't pray Salat al-Fajr. When Ramadan comes and it's long time, long hours, he doesn't want to fast, bro. He's a fair weather Muslim. This is manifested in many ways. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us, don't be a fair weather Muslim. Take the good with the bad. The good, the bad, and the ugly of the life. You are the Muslim, and the Muslim is the one who, with every step he takes, with every harakat that he or she makes, with every second act that they do, you have to let Islam govern all of that, and not be one of those people like these munafiqeen. So if the man today, his wife, doesn't have a baby, or the baby dies, he makes that like the fitna of the adab of Allah. Why is it that Fulan has babies and I didn't have a baby? Why did Allah do that to me? His business isn't successful. Why did Allah do that to me? That's how the people are. You don't want to be a fair weather friend, a fair weather Muslim, a person who talks the talk, but you don't get down the way you're supposed to get down. We all know the hadith, especially the men, of this manifestation of that. The Prophet says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Uritu ahla nar, فرأيت أكثر أهلها النسوان اللاتي يكفرن. I was shown the hellfire, and I saw that the majority of the occupants of the people of the hellfire are women, because they fall into kufr. The companions say, Ya Rasulullah, do they have kufr and disbelieve in Allah? He said, no. No, they don't disbelieve in Allah. They are Muslimat. But their issue is, they make the kufran of the ashir and the kufran of the ni'mah. The problem and the thing that winds them into the hellfire is that one of them will say to their husband, who does good to her and for her all of the marriage. He works, he's loyal, he's not dipping outside the house, he's a respectful man. Is he perfect? Kalla wallahi, because no one's perfect. But the one time that he doesn't do what she wants, the one time, just once, she says to him, Wallahi, ma ra'aytu khayra minka qat. I never saw any good for you. But we've been married for 20 years. You didn't see one thing good for me? La wallahi, because he didn't buy her one pair of shoes. What about the baby, the cute, sweet little baby girl that I helped you by Allah's permission to create? The baby is 7, 8, 10. Why only today you never saw good? You never saw good in that baby? That's the fair weather Muslimah. Now every man here can respect that. Every man. But what about the way this is manifested on us? What about the way that this is reflective of us? We give examples of women, many examples on the revert of Islam. The man marries a woman who was a kafirah. He could have been Sudani, he could have been Somali, whatever. He marries a lady from Ahlul Kitab, and she becomes a Muslim because of him. There's nothing wrong with that. Sulaim, the mother of Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with that. One of the 6 companions who narrated the majority of the hadith. The man Abu Talha from the rich people of Al-Madinah married that woman for her beauty and for her looks. Not for her deen, but when he married her and he saw the Muslims and he saw her Islam became strong. But I've seen many times how the revert lady, she accepts Islam for her husband. As soon as the marriage goes south, as soon as there's a divorce, lo and behold, she leaves Islam, she leaves hijab, she leaves practicing. And that's because she caused her Islam to be hinged upon that man. And I'm here to say in this khutbah, don't let your Islam be predicated and dependent upon who you love and who you don't love. The sheikh. Some of the people, they glorify Hakulu and the sheikh to a degree that you are afraid for the individual when the sheikh dies, and he's going to die. When the sheikh dies, you're going to find these people are going to yanqalibu على أعقابهم. This is why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was very beloved by the companions, radiyallahu anhum, Allah put this issue to them. And the companions, may Allah be pleased with them, are a template for success for us. What was the religion during their time is the religion now. What wasn't the religion during their time is not the religion now. If they did the Mawlid, we're going to come to this masjid and this minbar, we're going to say, let's do the Mawlid. If they made the dhikr, huwa, and all of that, we're going to come to this masjid and say, let's make the dhikr. Their aqidah, their ibadah, the way they were, that's the religion. What they were not doing is not the religion. So look at this example that we take from the companions as it relates to having ghulu and the Sheikh. What's the dalil? Why are you saying that? The Sheikh said, the Sheikh is the dalil. La ya akhi. Don't make your religion contingent, dependent upon your husband, your wife, your qabila, your masjid, your madhab. No! Your religion has to be what Allah Ta'ala revealed and what the Prophet brought, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Listen to the ayah. ما محمد إلا رسول قد خلت من قبله الرسل أفإن مات أو قتل انقلبتم على أعقابكم ومن ينقلب على عقبيه فلن يضر الله شيئا وسيجزي الله الشاكرين. أمة الإسلام, أصحاب القلوب, people go overboard in the 4 imams. We are late. If the person went overboard in the 4 imams, that's haram. But at least those men, inshallah, were awliya, wallahu a'lam. But the people today, they go overboard and this sheikh, that sheikh, politicizing Islam. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is nothing but a messenger. Many messengers went before him. If he dies or he is killed, will you people turn back on your heels and become kuffar? And if anybody turns back on his heel, you won't harm Allah one bit. And Allah will reward the shakirin. Those people who hold on to this religion, they are this religion when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's day, when it's not. When they got fitna, when they don't have fitna, they have trials and tribulations, his business is going good or not. The person from amongst the fair weather Muslims are the ones, he gets sick and he gets mad and upset with the qadr. So he stops praying because he got cancer. That's Allah al-Afi wa salam. Well, you stop praying for. Now is the time to tighten up on your religion. Now is the time when you get the fitn and the imtihanat. Now is the time to make dua. Now is the time to make the taqarrub ila Allah akthar fa akthar. Don't be a fair weather Muslim. You become unhinged when things don't go right. Now there are many reasons why you should not be a fair weather Muslim. A lot of reasons. That will be making mention of some of them during these next few days, inshallah. And this mu'tamar that's going to happen. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Tremendous hadith. People in this first row, they have a responsibility. People in the back row, responsibility. People coming into the door right now. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm making a point. You have a responsibility to get to the Jummah on time. You have a responsibility to walk into the masjid and to fill in the blanks. That's your responsibility. That's yours, yours, yours. It's not just about the husband and his children, the wife and her children. The imam has a responsibility. Get on this masjid, on this minbar, and call to the sunnah. Don't call to inhirafat. Don't weaponize the sunnah. Don't call to asabiyya. Don't call to hisbiyya. Call to the religion. Don't get up here and teach the Muslims about the siyasa that is munharifa that the Muslims have. Non-Muslims come to us and they ask the imam, what is your position and your opinion about LGBT? And instead of just saying the truth in a sober, reasonable, responsible way, it is a kabira from the kaba'ir. And it goes against the fitrah. Instead of him saying that, he starts to dance. He starts to dance. He can't say the truth. We say, that's your responsibility. Everybody, when we get up to pray today, inshallah, it's your job to make sure the line is straight. That's everybody's job. Mas'uliyah in Islam is not just my child and my wife. It's your responsibility to make sure that normative Islam, which is under attack, you know what? In the next 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, there will be a woman up on this minbar giving the khutbah. And the sufuf of the rijal is going to be peppered with men and women, because we've seen that already. It's happened already. But with normal Islam, if you want to be on real, I'm not talking about extreme Islam. No, I'm not talking about that watered down stuff. Going in the Zawiya, making dhikr of Allah while these kuffar take our land, take our property, take our resources, the double standards of the domestic policies of this country, foreign policies, and we have nothing to say? No, that's extreme and that's extreme. We ask Allah to ihdina, to the sirat al-mustaqim, in the middle, the way of the companions, not to the right or the left. Everybody here has a mas'uliyah. Everybody here. So as it relates to this, many reasons why you shouldn't be a fair weather Muslim. One of the main reasons is what the Prophet mentioned, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Innama al-mu'min khuliqa mufattana. The Muslim has been created to be tried with fitan. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. He created death and life to try all of us, to see which of us is the best in actions. And he is al-Aziz al-Ghafur. The people on the right of the first row suffer. The best of the people in the masjid today. The ones who the malaika are giving the salawat upon them because they came early. And he got here early. Every one of them had fitted. The people on the left fitted. Everyone in the last row fitted. Every woman here fitna. I don't have to know you or know your name to know you got fitna. He has fitna. Everybody. I got fitted, not fitna to him. Fitted. That's a lot. So if you're going to be a fair weather Muslim, every time there's a fitna, every time there's an ibtila, every time you get a divorce, every time someone dies, every time something happens, tanqala ala aqibay, every time you're going to be in trouble because it's going to happen for the rest of your life. The other issue, and it's critical, is similar to the first. Why should you be a fair weather friend? Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Quran a sunnah of his sunnah. Sunnatullahi fil ladina khalaw min qabl. There will be no change. It's going to always happen. Allah mentioned this other issue. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ لِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَيَتَّخِذَ مِنْكُمْ شُهَدَاءَ وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الظَّالِمِينَ. Let not those have food. Those are the days that change from the people. They are the different days. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's snow, sometimes it's ice, sometimes it's this and that. It is never always hot, never always cold, never always light, never always dark. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. That's how we're going to go. Sometimes the Muslim is going to have a fight in jihad. The jihad of Levi. We don't apologize about it. To white people, European, black people, Chinese people, it's the jihad of Islam. The thurr to salam of Islam. But not the jihad that is really fasad of the mutashaddideen. Those people make the tashweeh of Islam. But just as they make tashweeh in a bad image, those apologetic people as well. I can't stand the person, especially for my people, African Americans. African Americans, we got a lot of positive qualities that I stand here with stutter to be African American. But we also have bad qualities that my people have to deal with. Slavery has jammed us up. I can't stand the African American leader who comes and he wants to just placate the truth. I can't stand him. Just tell the truth, man. And be true to your cause. You're a Muslim. Be true to your cause. So these are the days. This is how they go. We make jihad. Sometimes we win the battle of Badr. We make jihad. Sometimes we lose in the battle of Uhud. And that's what the Herocle said to the companions, radiyallahu anhu, when they were telling him about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, this Prophet, this Nabi, when he fights his enemy, does he win all the time? He said, no. Sometimes he wins, and sometimes he loses. The Kafir, the Herocle said, وَكَذَلِكَ الْأَنْبِيَاءُ قَبْلُ. That's how it was with the prophets before. You ever saw a team, soccer, football, baseball, boxer, mixed martial artist? Did you ever see a person in competition, he wins all the time? Or all the time? Nobody wins all the time. No one. So if you're going to be a fair weather Muslim, you're going to be an individual who, when it's hot and when it's too cold, you're not going to practice your religion. And that's why, and I got to make this point, Islam doesn't accept a person taking a punk way out, committing suicide, because you have some problem. Committing suicide, that's the punk way out. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. It will not stay difficult forever. Nothing ever stays difficult forever. Nothing. There's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. So the Muslim has to not be a fair weather Muslim, but be an individual who's balanced. Listen to what the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, describing the believer. المؤمن الذي يخالط الناس ويصبر على أذاهم خير من المؤمن الذي لا يخالط الناس ولا يصبر على أذاهم. The believer who mixes with the people, his family, his relatives, his friends, the masjid, he mixes with them, and the things that he sees from them that annoys him, the adha, it annoys him the way they act, things that happen, took your money, this happened, talk bad about you, took your money as a debt, didn't give your money back, you gave him a debt, and the dude won't give you your money back. So you come and you say, man, forget the Muslims, man. The Muslims are no good. You ever see that Muslim? Anytime it comes to white people, Europeans, kuffar, they always say, look at the kuffar. I went to the Middle East and I saw Islam, but I didn't see Muslims. I came to the West and I came to America, I saw Islam. They had Islam in the West, but no Muslim. Man, get out of here with that stuff. The president gets sworn in by the cross in the Bible, and you saw Islam? You saw Islam in this Tamam here, that's what you saw? They have some things that are true, but don't have qulub. Over in the Muslim world, Mecca, Medina, Beit al-Maqdis, Somalia, Sudan, Algeria, Morocco, with all of the problems that we have, all of the tahaddiyat that we have, Islam is over there. Islam ain't here like that. When you want to make the difference of wazin tanqalab, you're going overboard, man. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والثبات. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه. صلوات الله والسلام على نبينا الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Ummah al-Islam, we are living in a very difficult time. قال المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من عام إلا والذي بعده شر منه حتى تلقوا ربكم. There is no year that comes except that the next year is worse than the one that went before it until you meet your Lord. This is the worst, toughest time to be a youngster. 2023 with social media. This is the worst time to be a youngster. This is tough. This is a tough time to be divorced. A tough time not to be married. A tough time to be the imam. A tough time to be the khatib. This is a tough time to be a Muslim. But I tell you this, and I tell you for free, and without biting my tongue for no one, if you want to navigate correctly through these trying times in which a Dajjal is going to come out, Wallahi, the land is being prepared for the Dajjal. You can't believe anything of what you hear and see today, because these are, as the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sinawat, khada'at. The father and the mother are like the children, and the children is like the parents. Sinawat, khada'at. The Amin, like Tamim, he's not trustworthy. The Kadhab, the people believe him. They believe him. Get up here giving all these weak hadith. Brother Muhammad said this, and he's a Kadhab. But the people say, MashaAllah, but it's tremendous khutbah. No. There's some tough times right here. You better believe it. You better believe it. So you want to navigate? Then you take what Allah Ta'ala said. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu adkhulu fi silmi kafatan wa la tattabi'u khutuwat ash-shaytan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Enter into al-Islam wholeheartedly. Don't cherry pick from the religion. I like that, so I'll take it. I like that, put it in the basket. I like that, and I don't like that. I don't like that. This is too tough right there. That's too tough that I have to wear a beard, that I can't be Muslim. For an example, that's too tough that I have to make salah 5 times a day, that I have to wear hijab, that nothing should be seen of me from my mahasin except my face and my hands, and that's it. And that's it. Nah, I don't like that. That's too tough. So as the father, those ahadith, رضا الرب في رضا الوالد وسخط الرب في سخط الوالد. Allah's pleasure is when the father and the mother are pleased, and Allah's anger is when the father and the mother are angry. So I, as a father, weaponize the religion, and I tell my daughter, you heard what the Prophet said about the father. You heard what Allah said. Yeah, but where are you, the father and the mother? When Allah told you, you have mas'uliyah about your daughter dressing properly, about educating them, about taking care of your freaking kids who, they to your ex-wife. They're your ex-wife. Because the talaq happened, doesn't mean you don't have mas'uliyah over those children. Why? When it's on your side, when it's on my side, I'm going to cherry pick. And I'm going to use that as an asliha against people. لا كلا والله ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. And from the خطوات of shaitan is cherry picking in our religion. A shaitan, ikhwani, is to us an avowed enemy. He wants you to misunderstand every word that I said here. Every word he wants you to misunderstand. He doesn't want you to understand a single word how I meant it and what I meant. That's his job, and that's how he is. So we ask Allah Ta'ala by his ism and azam and lazi. If he su'ila bihad al-ism, he gives. We ask Allah Ta'ala to establish us firmly upon the religion of the Salaf of this ummah, and that he makes us with those people who are truthful in word and truthful in deed. We say it and we're about it. We say it and we believe in it. And that's why that man said, Ya Rasulullah, Quli, tell me something I only can ask you. He said, Qul, amantu billahi, thumma istaqim. Say, I believe in Allah, and then be upright. We all say we believe in Allah, but there are aspects of our religion we're falling short of. Rasulullah wasn't about that. He wasn't like that. He wasn't like that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I believe in Allah, and then he had istiqamah. Allah Ta'ala make us of those people who are repented, who are the dhakirin and dhakira Allah, and dhakirat Allah kathira, and may He Ta'ala accept it from us and you. Alkum as-salat, yarhamu.